Good Friday morning, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Chris Peterson, and we have a lot to weather to go over today. We have now a new moderate risk of excessive rainfall for areas of the low country and the Grand Strand areas that we are going to get into today. And this overall could be a pretty big day for when it comes to flooding and flash flooding. So please make sure that you pay attention. Please make sure that you are aware for today. But we're going to start off with what's currently going on. As you can see, we do have some rainfall over in areas of the Midlands, over inside of the PD areas, and the upstate, already receiving rainfall as we speak right now. But if we see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we have rainfall going on from the central U.S. over into Missouri, Iowa, down to Texas, even North Carolina, seeing some rainfall as we speak. Georgia, Alabama, seeing some rainfall as well. Now, cloud cover looks like most of us are covered from upstate to low country to Grand Strand. Looks like most of us are covered with clouds right now. But if we want to look at that cloud cover for the future, don't think that's really going to take too long to really change. Because watch as we move later on into today, all of us, I'm going to try to get back to being covered once again. But like I said, there will be some clear spots still happening here and there, even if we get all the way to 12 o'clock in the morning here. Cloud cover still is present with us, but you can see some clear spots. Current temperatures right now, we're talking about 81 in Somerville, 83 Charleston, even 83 in Beaufort, 76 in Columbia, even 78 in Sumter, 80 Conway, 82 Myrtle Beach, even 75 in Florence, 73 Hartsville, 71 in Lancaster, 71 Rock Hill, even 69 in Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, 70 inside of Clemson. Air quality for today, most of us are actually in the good category. Good category for today. So we don't have to worry about any bad air quality for today. High temperatures for today, we're talking about 79 in Greenville, 78, Spartanburg, 80, Rock Hill, 85 in Columbia, even around 88 in Orangeburg, 85 in Sumter, and 86 in Florence, 87 Myrtle Beach, and 92 in Charleston, Moncks Corner, and 93 in Hilton Head Island. Heat index values for today also will be up there if you're in like the low country. 109 in Hilton Head Island, 108 in Charleston, 103 Moncks Corner, even 106 in Walterboro. So we're looking pretty hot. Even 99 in Myrtle Beach, 101 in Georgetown, 102 in Orangeburg, Aiken. Everybody else gonna stay in the 90s, if not all the way down to the 70s. Winds for today are actually going to be pretty calm. I mean, you're going to see around 2 miles an hour, maybe all the way up to around 7, 8 miles per hour in the inland areas. But once you get towards the coastal areas, it gets to around 10 miles per hour. And those wind gusts are going to be from around 5 to 10 to 15 miles per hour inland to the coastal areas to where it's around 10 to 15. Rainfall as we move throughout the next 24 hours looks like a good amount of rainfall is possible. Rather, if you are from the upstate to the low country to the Grand Strand areas, but it looks like that the majority will potentially see, or maybe not the majority, but a good amount of people may see around an inch to an inch and a half over the next 24 hours. Charleston, quarter of an inch to a half an inch. Moncks Corner, half an inch to an inch. Columbia, half an inch to an inch. Orangeburg, half an inch to an inch. Same thing with Myrtle Beach. But then you may only see like a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch in Spartanburg, quarter of an inch to a half an inch in Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, Barnwell, Charleston. So there's a good amount of rainfall that is definitely possible in some spots, but maybe not so much over the next 24 hours. Now, as we go into the SPC outlook for today, one thing that also needs to be paid attention to is the marginal risk of severe weather that we have for today. We have a marginal risk of severe weather for the low country areas going over in the southern Midlands, also in the PD and the Grand Strand areas, where there is a 5% risk of damaging winds for today. If you're in that dark green area, make sure that you watch out for any isolated severe storms that could happen. And then also make sure that you're watching out for the flash flooding, because flash flooding is the next big concern. If you're in the red, this was just added this morning. We now have a moderate risk of excessive rainfall over here from Orangeburg through the Tri-County area of Dorchester, Berkeley, and Charleston County over into Walterboro, Manning, Georgetown, all the way over into Horry County, where there is a 40% chance of flash flooding for today in these areas. 40%. If you're in the yellow, you have a 15% risk. Greenville, Anderson, Greenwood, going over into Beaufort, Florence, all these areas, Lancaster, Bennettsville, Dillon, you have a 15% risk of flash flooding. And then if you're in the green, you have a 5%. Gaffney, Lake Wylie, Kankakee, and Fort Mill. These areas have a 5% risk flash flooding for today going into tomorrow morning. So it's overall going to be a pretty eventful and a pretty active day today. Pretty active. Now, the crazy score right now, we're at an 18. It will continue to go up, though, as the day progresses, just because you see how we have 8 points from the flood watch. One of the alerts is active, but one of the other flood watches really doesn't get going until I believe 12 o'clock p.m. So that's going to add some more points. So the crazy score could go up a pretty good amount, especially if we get some some flood advisories or some flash flood warnings. That does get going. Crazy score is going to go up a significant amount. If you want to keep track of it, make sure you go to scweather360.com. Again, the crazy score is always there. Again, scweather360.com. So let's go on now and talk about the models now. Time is at the bottom part of your screen. Please make sure that you go on and pay attention to that, as that is very, 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 very important to go on and do so. So we're going to go on and take a look at that now. I'm going to look at the composite reflectivity first. And take a look at the models here. We start off here at 8 o'clock in the morning. And just as we push this forward all the way to 11 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m., one thing that you do see is rainfall traversing its way from west to east, now producing some rainfall over there in the PD, the Grand Strain areas, the Midlands, but it seems to be relatively light overall. But watch when we get to around 3 to 4 p.m. We start to see some more heavy shower and storm activity that occurs over in the low country. And remember, these storms in the low country, all the way over into the Grand Strain areas, could produce some damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour. So these storms could also, bring a quick punch. Even if you get to around 10 p.m., you're still seeing a good amount of rainfall. But then, if you watch over there in terms of like the more upstate, up towards Georgia, another round of showers and storm may be trying to move through later tonight. But look at all this rainfall that we have that tries to move its way through into the low country areas. Now, one thing I will say is that this does not look like as much rainfall as we were expecting last night. Last night, we had a huge amount of rainfall trying to come in. This seems like it's kind of toned down a little bit. And what's the total precipitation? I mean, yeah, you still have some spots that can get up to around 4 or 5 inches of rainfall. Some areas around 1, 2, inches of rainfall, like over here in the Tri-County areas. But overall, you're not seeing as much as we were expecting. Now, I will say this is also 18 hours, and we were looking at a full 40-hour time span yesterday. So that also could be the reason as of why. But right now, from 3 o'clock p.m. yesterday to now 8 o'clock in the morning, this is the difference. So let's go on now and take a look at the tropics. Nothing. Bertha is gone. Bertha's last advisory was 11 o'clock p.m. last night, and it is now just causing some rainfall over there inside of Texas, if any. It's actually moving into Mexico now. So, honestly, not too much left from Bertha there. And then as we go on and take a look at the earthquakes, do we have any earthquakes today? Nope. Or this morning, last night? Nope. So we're good. And that's all that I have to say. So make sure you are paying attention today. Make sure that you have all your flash flood plans ready just in case if worse comes to worse. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, share with all the people that you know, as it's free, it's free, it's free, and you can always change your mind. But that's all. Go on and do so. And make sure you keep an eye on that website, scweather360.com. You can check and see your alerts on there. You can check and see the flash flood outlooks. You can check and see the crazy score. You can submit flooding photos, all of that. Make sure that you go on and do so. I will be back tonight, 9 o'clock p.m., 9 o'clock p.m., or not 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m. for your 8 o'clock p.m. forecast update, or tomorrow morning for your Saturday morning forecast update. Make sure that you are there for that.